Alright, we'll give this a sec. Make sure everything comes back online. We back? We back. Excellent. Not ideal when the stream just randomly dies, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, effectively, we reveal a Joan, a Luster Dragon, or a Luster Dragon 2. We reveal one of those cards. We add a Guardian Angel Joan or a Dragon normal monster to our hand, and then we send a monster to the graveyard. So that is a +1. If we control a face-up Guardian Angel Joan, which again, we can just search if we don't have it, we can summon it without tribute, so as long as we spend our normal summon on it. Oh, it's not even spending our normal summons, it's free. So we just get to summon that for free. Then we add a Graceful Charity, a Stamping Destruction to our hand from outside of the deck. Then we can set 2 monsters that are either Luster Dragon or Luster Dragon 2. So that's another +2. So that is a +5, right? I've been fiddling with this and it ends mostly on Dragon Maid Shoe, IP, and Seals. I mean, that's not bad though, like as an end board. I assume you'd probably... I mean, assuming we're playing Dragon Mage, you could probably end Untidying then as well. Which doesn't sound that bad. Hello, by the way, Laser Shark. Welcome, welcome. But going +5 still is nice, right? Because you can use the Graceful Charity to get rid of the guff, right? You can just activate Graceful Charity, get rid of the Stamping Destruction, for example, if you don't need it. Just dig through the deck, find what you want. +5 and Graceful, but means you have to play a bunch of vanillas. Well, it comes down to what can you get done with the vanillas, right? So, for example, as Laser Shark already said, you can link them off into Seals, right? So, having a bunch of vanillas, but summoning out Seals, that's a pretty good way to spend those free vanillas. Will Graceful Charity and Change of Heart have animation? I mean, I have no idea, maybe. Dragon Link? I mean, we don't have most of the Dragon Link stuff, so I don't know what we're going to really do with that. I think there's going to be some stuff we can do with this, though. 2 level 6 can also go into Hieratic Xyz. Yeah? I'm trying to think, because how deep could we go with, like, a Hieratic Dragon Maid package in this? Plus, where would we even end on that? I'm trying to remember how many cards. I'm pretty sure it's too many cards. Because effectively, we're going to want to play... What, like, at least... are we playing, like, all 9? Are we playing 3 Guardian Angel Joan, 3 Luster Dragon, 3 Luster Dragon 2? Because we have to open it, right? We need to open it, otherwise the skill doesn't do anything. I love this skill, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people cook with it. When will the ban list come? Tomorrow or the next day? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Usually the ban list would be like a couple of days after the KC Cup, but we're in a bit of a weird spot, and we do have the new world releasing soon as well. But yeah, we should expect it very soon. Lust Dragon 1900 level 4 BS, that's pretty good. It doesn't lock you out of extra deck either. This skill can send World Chalice Guard Dragon, so you can revive one of the Luster Dragons. I mean, yeah, that's just an extender, right? Just an extra body. I guess you could also send, like, a Dragon Maid, like one of the adults, and then special summon it back if you have one of the little maids. I don't think that's, like, a super great play, but it's a play. 3/3/3, 3/3 and 3 Searcher. Oh, the, Christ, what's it called? The spell card that adds a level 5 or higher normal monster, right? Rank 4 and rank 6 plays, or link 2 plays. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think there's some cool stuff you can do with this. I genuinely think... Like, again, is this going to be like a super top tier deck? Probably not. Could this be like, I don't know, like a rogue deck that does okay in a couple of tournaments? Yeah. Could this cog? Sure, this could cog. Summoner's Art, that's it. Yeah. I think this skill's really fun. I think I'm looking forward to experimenting with this and seeing what we can get done. Noah 3. You can only use the skill's second effect once per turn. This is just a load of crap, right? This doesn't matter. Random ritual monster / spell. That's brilliant. I'm going to give this one a go. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the more fun ones. Noah 4. You can only use the skill's first and second effects once per duel and only one effect per turn. Before your normal draw, place a spirit monster on top of your deck. Okay, do you get... I assume you get to pick. This turn, you can conduct up to 3 normal summon / sets. Oh, it's this one. Skip ahead 30 seconds. Okay. You can normal summon spirit monsters without tributing, and you cannot normal or special summon monsters except spirit monsters. Reveal 1 spirit monster or 1 spell trap in your hand, then either place that card on the bottom of your deck or send it to the graveyard, then draw 2 cards. So we can't do both of these things on the same turn, which is kind of sad. But this is interesting, right? Because theoretically, you can get, what, Dark Dusk Spirit? I mean, I guess if we search spirit monsters. Like, there's these Feng Huang? That's the wrong place to search. So you go Dark Dust Spirit. When this card is normal summoned or flip face up, destroy all other face-up monsters on the field. You can go Feng Huang, which is when this card is normal summoned or flip face up, destroy or set spell traps on the opponent's field. Emmanuel Wato. Stop floodgating, guys. Come on, there's more stuff we can do than just floodgate. I'm actually more excited for Valon. Seriously, I've always wondered how Armored would fit into the actual game. The issue is, I don't know if Valon is going to come into the game, and if he is, I don't think we're going to get his armor cards. As I don't want to, like, burst your bubble, because I would also love to see Valon in the game, and I would love to see the armor cards come in. But it's especially difficult when it comes to Duel Links, because we only have the 3 monster zones than the EMZ. Now, you could make the argument, you could give him a skill that lets the Seal of Orichalcos play like it plays in the show, which lets you put monsters in the spell trap zone. I think that's the only way you could make it work, realistically. Feng Huang was fun back in the day. I mean, it's okay, right? Dark Dust and Feng to force out a droplet. I mean, that's the best you're going to get, right? But realistically, it would be really funny because you can do 3 normal summons. So you just go like, normal summon Feng, pop all the back row, assuming they don't chain anything, right? Normal summon Dusk, wipe all their monsters, and that's just lethal on board. Now, again, your opponent would have to have just nothing. So you'd have to have like Cold Wave or something, which is not in the game, so... But it's funny the stuff that you potentially could do. Again, this is going to be a meme skill, realistically, right? What's the game plan after that? I mean, you just scoop me. There's nothing after that. Yeah, I don't see... Like, this seems like kind of mid. I think you're not playing this with, like, Shinobirds, and I think Shinobirds is the only good way to make the spirits work. Actually, the idea that we get Psychic Armorhead, and then we have a skill which transform Valent into his armored form and summons from outside of the deck armor tokens, which have the same effects some of the armor pieces do in the anime. I mean, you could, but then like we're getting into like really weird territory with that, right? Is Waboku in the game yet? No. I mean, we have like some Waboku-like effects, right? Like one of the Lyrilisk rituals. Is it Nightingale? We have like Samsara. Armor pieces wouldn't be actual cards, they'd only be accessible by what I'm going to call Armored Gravitation, named after one of the spell cards. Yeah, you summon Feng Huang, Dark Spirit, then a mono guaranteed game. Well, the issue as well is Feng Huang only pops face down spell traps, and Dark Dusk only pops face up monsters. So they don't even like guarantee clear the board. Old Evil Hero and Thunder Dragon. Yeah, I mean, those are both in the leaks. We'll have to wait and see when they actually come out, though. Alright, next up. Fusion, Light Rage, and Light Exchange. I don't think we need to read these. We already have the Fusion, Dark Rays, and all the other ones. Light Exchange is just the Light Exchange. It's whatever. Then we have Serenity 4. You can only use the skill's second and third effects once per duel. You cannot normal or special summon monsters except light/dark monsters and fusion monsters. Add a Dark Lord Berry, Polymerization, and the Forgiving Maiden from outside of your deck to your hand. So that is everything you need to make a St. Joan. For the rest of this duel, you cannot special summon monsters except light fusion monsters until you perform a fusion summon. If you control a face-up St. Joan, or only your opponent controls a monster, draw 2 cards, shuffle 2 cards from your hand into the deck. So this is ass, right? Effectively, we get a 2800 vanilla, and then we can draw 2, shuffle 2. So we're not even plussing. So this is just straight up bad. Like, there is no good way to spin this skill. This is just ass. Sadly, you're right. I doubt we are going to get the armor monsters, as if he does come, they'll probably choose something else. Granted, the only cards he played in the anime were the armor one. Yeah. Generic. I mean, you say generic, but like this just literally summons a 2800 guy and then filters 2 cards. That's it. I think there are better generic skills than this. Alright, Rebecca 4. You can only use the skill's first and second effects once per duel, and only 1 effect per turn. Before... Is the music like... That was fun. Before your normal draw, place an Injection Fairy Lily on top of your deck. Then gain 2000 life points. This turn, you can normal summon 1 Injection Fairy Lily in addition to your normal summon/set, and your Injection Fairy Lily can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. So, you could just not even attack with Lily, right? You could just use this to gain 2000 life points and just be an extender. Which is, like, not good. But it's funny, right? You could just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna... Injection Fairy Lily is now just a base... Effectively treated as just like a special summonable body. Gain 2k life points. The other effect, reveal an Earth monster or 1 Fairy monster in your hand, and either place at the bottom of your deck, send to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. So again, if we're playing Earth or Fairy, I guess you could maybe use this in that sort of way. St. Joan Turbo into Despia or Shadol does not sound like a fun time. Well, that's the thing. You'd have to be doing something completely different to just St. Joan Turbo. You would just also have a free St. Joan, right? I mean, the whole update seems weird. Like, I don't know if it's a world or not, or if it's just art styles. So they've said it's a world update. So they're taking the DM world and they're updating it. They're going to change, like, the visuals. They're going to give some of the characters new alt styles. They're going to introduce new characters. So it's new world adjacent without being a new world, is kind of how I would think of it. Can we have the skill and rush instead? No. Injection Fairy Lily is a rush card, though. 2 is really good for Earth or Fairy decks. If you don't even need Lily, what would be good in my book Dragon deck? I mean, 2000 life points is nice, though. And Injection Fairy Lily, like we say, is just kind of a generic extender. It's not a good extender, but it is an extender. And then we get Soccer Boss. Play card 3799 face up to your field is unaffected by card effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle, tributed, or used as material for a link summon. So this is the football, right? This is the football. This is summon football. Did you try Sky Striker Fluffle deck? It has crazy combo. The issue I have is I don't really like Sky Striker. Sky Striker it's an interesting deck because it's very different to like every other deck. I've never been a big fan of it, and it's one of those things where I feel like you can throw like anything next to a Sky Striker engine and it becomes a playable deck, and I don't like those sort of things. It reminds me a little bit of like Fleur, where it's just like you could just put the Fleur package in anything and it's just a playable deck, and I'm not a big fan of that personally. Is that Lady Jasmine of Olivine? Welcome on in. Yeah, football. We should all praise football, all praise Namor Sensei. I mean, using it for the discard and draw. I mean, yeah, you definitely can use just the discard and draw. I mean, you could do that with any of those skills, though, right? The skill doesn't prevent your opponent from removing it themselves, probably. Normal summon Neymar Junior Pass. I don't think we can normal summon a token. A football gets in before Atticus. It makes sense though, right? We need the football. The football mode does look like a bit of fun though. I am gonna have a bit of fun with it at the very least. Rescue Rabbit, shuffle up to 2 level 4 monsters or normal monsters from your hand into your deck. Draw the same number of cards, then set a Rescue Rabbit from your deck. Its position can be changed. Meh. I don't really have much of an opinion on the Rescue Rabbit skill. You mean soccer? I am not a American, sir. The game is called football. It was called football when it was created. It was football far before America tried to steal the name football and give it to a game where feet very rarely connect with a ball. Therefore, it is football here. Basically, the magical mallet and a free monster. Metal Foe's borderline got a skill. Then we take those. This is insight support, probably. You kick the ball with a foot, it's football. I mean, you do kick the ball with... There is a kicking of the ball in American football. It's just very rare, right? It happens every game. It's just 99% of the game, you are handling the ball with your hands. The code calls it soccer. Well, the code calls it soccer because Japanese call it soccer, right? That's what it comes down to. It still doesn't change the fact that Japan and America and Canada and some parts of Africa get it wrong, right? We call the American game rugby. Rugby is very different from American football, though. They're similar, but they are different games. The term soccer was invented by the English, though, so we only have ourselves to blame. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, most of the problems that Britain has, or England has, are England's fault. We do this a lot. We do cause our own problems most of the time. We are kind of used to that. But, at the very least, we are generally in control of our own destiny, which is something. Is that Luis Fernando? Welcome, welcome. It's called football because we use a ball and run with our feet. But then, like, by that logic, right, would that not apply to every single sport? Because almost every sport uses a ball, and almost every sport includes running. JP calls it soccer? Yes, JP does call it soccer. Yes, was eFootball called Pro Evolution Soccer? That's definitely eFootball. There is the bionicle sport of Kolhi, which is very similar to lacrosse. Thank God we know the bionicle sport that is similar to lacrosse. Thank God we know that. What you say about Genesys? We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to Genesys yet. Every sport is football. Whoa, that's crazy. Opened my third eye. Finally get to use my prismatic injection fairy lily. I mean, it's... Injection Fairy Lily is like... I think this could be like a funny meme skill. I'll be happy to see someone make this work. Especially if they can make it work in like King of Games. Or like Legend. Legend is probably more competitive than King of Games, realistically, right? For me, it's just TCG without Link. But there's also without... pendulums. Pendulums see a bit of play. A little bit of play. Basketball, we play with our baskets. Basketball is a weird one, to be honest, because I know we call the net a basket, but is it really a basket? Is it it's a metal hoop with a net coming out of it. At what point is that defined as a basket? You know what I mean? So it's a big thing in Bionicle Universe. It's basically the only way Maturin can get entertained. Their world, despite being lit with deep technology, is kind of stuck with the tribal era. It is so weird, King John, that you have come in here with this Bionicle knowledge, when during the Worlds broadcast, I also had Acceleration Gate also delivering me Bionicle, like, lore. And I haven't thought about Bionicle in literal years, right? It's probably been 15 years since I've even thought about Bionicle, And in the space of a month, I've had 2 different people talk to me about Bionicle. Which, I don't know, to me just seems out of the blue. It seems out of the blue. Maybe it's not actually out of the blue, but it definitely seems like it is. It's a basket with a hole, surely? I mean, all baskets have holes, right? They have to have an entrance point. I mean, we take care about Pendulum. Yes. Some Pendulums are cool. Not all of them. Like, Abyss Actor. Abyss Actor's a cool deck. I remember the first movie having some sort of sport being played. Hell yeah, brother, Bionicle. Pendulum basically don't exist today. At one point, it was literally played with a basket, but the bottom was removed to make retrieving the ball easier. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Today I learned. Okay, that is a funny coincidence. There we go. I mean, Lunar Lights were the semi-finalist in Worlds, and they used like 2 or 3 pen cards for them in combo. Didn't Lunar Lights win Worlds? Am I delusional? Is Bionicle also part of the branded lore? Yes. So, they were part of the Springans lore, which is like attached to the branded lore, right? It's time to buy your first Bionicle tomorrow. I had Bionicle when I was a kid. I was a child when Bionicles released. I had the, let me see if I can find it. So my favorite one was the red one. I had Tahu. Here he is. This is the one that I had. Open it. I had this. Go away, optional cookies. This is what I had when I was a kid. This doesn't look... This looks lower quality than I remember, but maybe I just remember it more fondly because I was a child at the time. I had this. I had... Because I had a brother... I have a brother. And we had half of them each. So I had... original Bio. Oh, maybe. We had 3 each. I had the white one. Let's grab these up. So I had the red one, the white one, and the black one. These are the ones that I had, and my brother had blue, green, and brown. The OG, I had all of the original set, and sporadically got pieces from the rest as well. I just want to say, why is there so much crossover between Duel Links and Bionicle? Like, so many people in chat are like, yeah, Bionicle, yeah, I love Bionicle. I'm like, apparently, just a lot of the Duel Links player base is just into Bionicle. That is not the first series of Bionicle. I mean, this is what I remember being the first stuff. I never liked Bionicle. There we go. There's Kazumi coming in when the gang pulls up. Funny thing is, you guys each had parts of the combination. You guys just needed a gold and silver mask, and you could literally combine them together. I feel like the main reason they are allowing links and pens is... Well, they aren't allowing, I shouldn't be, because the point list would be twice as long. I mean, potentially, right? I think the idea is they wanted to have a less intimidating format, as well as a lower power level format, right? Never understood it. I mean, they're just toys, right? Like, as a child, like, I would have been, like, I don't know, 6, 7 or something when these came out. So I would have been like, cool Lego toy. It looks fun. There was a movie. I watched the movie. There is a amount of correlation between being able to use Lego bricks to make whatever your heart desires and building a deck in a card game. You could say it's like pieces of a puzzle. That's so deep. Where were we? I guess we'll talk about these quick. We do have the latest bunch of leaks, which are neat. Swamp Deity. I mean, like, what in here is, like, important? Branded Disciple, Dictator of D. The flu stuff is not coming anytime soon, I wouldn't think. But, like, the flu stuff is here. We've got the Ice Shades that we were talking about before. Illusion of Chaos. Magi Karibo. Master of Ham. And then the other leaks, we got, what, Mirror Jade. Which I assume this isn't coming as a standalone card. I assume it's just going to be attached to the skill, but who knows. Sales Pitch, Self-Destruct Hand. We got the Shino Birds. Interluder. The rest of the Sword Soul cards that went from the other leak. True Light is actually pretty big. True Light is a big trap card. So that could actually give Blue Eyes some teeth. Because, I mean, Blue Eyes is like a competitive deck right now in TCG. Like, it's not as good as it was when the deck first came out, I don't think. But, like, it was still competitive. Flu and Neat don't usually go in the same sentence unless it's something like, it's neat, they will never release Flu. Well, the thing is, right, Flu, I think Flu is an okay deck. Like, it's not an asshole deck. The asshole part of Flu is the Floodgates. But you just don't give us the Floodgates, and then Flu is, like, fine, right? With Book of Eclipse and Droplet, maybe, just maybe Flu isn't as bad. Yeah, I think Flu's gonna be fine. Like, the reason Flu gets so annoying is, well, like, when you combine it with shit like Skill Drain or Summon Limit or, I don't know, all of the annoying Floodgates that go with it. But I think overall, these are probably going to be fine. And again, I don't think they're getting Flu anytime soon anyway. I think it's just they're added in ready, right? Blue Simorg? No, don't talk about Simorg. We don't talk about Simorg here. Just Flu, just pure Flu. They'll get a skill that hard locks them into Flus, don't worry. True Light, like Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul was ass, but we have Blue Eyes Jet, like DM Knight. Yeah. Well, Jet is actually really big, so we'll have to see how it actually performs, but... And I guess now is the time that we're going to talk about Genesys. So, Genesys. Anyone that doesn't know, this is a new mode for the game. It's a new format. And the gist is, we're removing all links, we're removing all pendulums, and we are unbanning every single card. But the twist is we are going to be... Where is it? Can we click here? We have the list of cards here. Point adjustments, the first Genesys duel list, the great... Introduce the Genesys. There we go, this is what I want. Where's the list of cards? I guess it doesn't really matter. Basically, every card has a point value associated with it. I guess we'll go and look it up quick. Genesys. So I want to see the actual point values, which just aren't here, which is just mildly irritating for me. There we go. So we have our points, right? So every card has a point value, and official events will have 100 as the standard points. And the gist is that you can only have cards that total 100 points or less, right? So if you want an Abyss Dweller in your deck, because it costs 100 points, you can have no other card in your deck that costs any points at all. Everything has to be 0. So there's about 500 cards which have points associated with them, which means every other card in the game is a 0. So the idea is all the Floodgates in the game, or at least the majority of them, are 100 points, so you can't really play Floodgates in this format. And a lot of the really powerful like meta strategies also have cards with points associated with them, which means the worse your deck is, the less restrictions you have on it, which means the more generically good cards you can put in your deck. That is the gist. That is the gist of this format. Came a bit late. Would you mind giving me a quick bullet run of anything? We're getting in a bit. I mean, I can do that at the end, right? Speedle 2, finally peak format mentioned. Duel Links 2.0, Genesys is the new cross duel. I mean, not quite. Is this going to be a video game or IRL format? This is an IRL format, and the big thing that's making this actually have, like, support behind it is this is getting its own prize support, it's having its own side events, and it is going to be getting its own YCS, right? So this is going to have massive tournaments with massive prize money, or prize, not money, because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Massive prize support behind it, which is why people are like, okay, this is actually going to be pretty interesting. So the big thing is, we have no extra monster zone and no pendulum zones because we don't have link monsters or pendulum monsters, right? What does that mean? Link monsters have hyper accelerated the speed of the game, and a lot of decks are absolutely insane because link monsters exist. Now, some decks don't really need to play links, so they'll probably be fine either way. The biggest issue I have with this format, the biggest thing, like my biggest criticism is, whenever you see a content creator talking about this, they'll use things like, oh, your pet deck that you used to play is going to be really good in this format. Now, as long as your pet deck came out in like the last year, Maybe that's true, right? But I don't think this is going to hold up, like, the further back in time you go, right? If your pet deck was, like, released in the Xyz era, I don't think it's going to do well here, realistically. I think this is still going to favor newer decks compared to older decks. It's just decks that are really good right now and really meta right now are going to be penalized by having large point costs attached to them, right? I hope they put it in Master Duel. I mean, that would be cool if they do, right? I'm not going to lie, I might actually play Genesys. Might give me a chance to play some Xyz numbers at their full power. Like, I might just try full power Dragon just to see what's up. I saw some pictures of end boards, and this just seems like the same TCG besides links. I won't get back into the IRL game, but I will play this on Master Duel. Genesys is PSYOP. If it comes to Master Duel, it needs to really... I assume it will do, right? They killed Strikers. Well, they killed every Link deck, so of course they did. I'd say so somewhat, but it looks like board breakers are really good in this format, so end boards won't be that much of an issue. Is it just going to be the same meta as TCG except Link decks? So the thing to remember is that how many decks are competitive in the TCG that have 0 links in them? And, like, there is no link in their combo, at all. Because this is going to hurt, I think, every single deck pretty much. Like, I'm trying to think, does Blue Eyes play links? Like, Blue Eyes might play, like, a link, but it doesn't play a lot. So Blue Eyes would probably be a fine deck, right? As in, like, the new support Blue Eyes got. The Red Dragon Archfiend deck, like the Resonators, that deck was doing pretty good, and I don't think played any links. Like, maybe it played Spheres. But that was primarily just a Synchro deck, if I remember correctly. Monarchs? I mean, Monarchs, yeah. Surely Gen X is going to do well, Clueless. I don't think so, you know? Truth is, me and my friends are just probably going to play Genesys. No, just give us the availability to play some alt decks. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you can have just a bit of fun with this, I think it's going to be great, right? The problem, I think, is going to come when we start seeing tournament results coming out, and we start seeing the same decks just being the best, and the best, and the best, and the best. And again, it's one of those things where I feel like it's a lot more fun right now when people are, like, brewing, people are coming up with interesting stuff, but I do expect this to end up in a way where it's just like decks released in the last 2, maybe 3 years are still just the best decks, right? Now, obviously, things like Tearlaments, that's not going to be a best deck because Tearlaments have been absolutely massacred on this list. Like, if we come down here. We got, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tearlaments cards, all at 50. So you're not playing Tearlaments. Geminites kind of. Paleos don't really play their Link, so that's another one. Yeah, Paleos is another good one. Said Dragon Rulers might have a chance, though the babies are still banned, so I don't know if we could play full power, because I'm going to assume Dark Matter Dragon is going to be 100 points. The thing is, I don't even know what you do with Dragon Ruler. Like, what's a Dragon Ruler end board these days? Because, like, even Dragon Rulers tend to go into, like... You go into, like, Draco Sack, and then Draco Sack would, like, link off into something, typically. Dark Matter is 50 points. Well, there we go. Didn't they already do an emergency points change? Yeah. So basically, this list came out, and a bunch of people worked out that you could play, like, Mystic Mine Turbo, you could play Exodia FTK, and so they immediately went and addressed that. So this again was, like, some of the old stuff. This was just something that I found. I thought this was, like, interesting. This is just, like, popular staple cards and the amount of points that they cost. This has already been changed. Some of these are not costing this amount anymore. But this is an idea of, like, depending on how many points your engine costs, what cards could you include that are, like, non-engine, right? Which means a lot of decks, if you want to play, like, I don't know, some of the newer decks, maybe like Yummy or something, you're not going to have room for any of this stuff, right? You're going to be playing without any of this. Pot of Greed at 3? I mean, yeah, you can play Pot of Greed at 3. Well, I don't think you can, actually, because it costs... Is Pot of Greed 30, or is it 40? I want to say it's 30, so you could play 3 copies of it. Whoever the devs are for this are dumb, making the Mekenko rituals. Well, you know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Is Dominus Trap better than the other? Aren't they equal? I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Graceful is 40. Yeah, Graceful is 40, because Graceful is just generally better. Like, a lot of the time, you're playing decks that want to put cards in the graveyard, and finding the actual important cards can be more important than actual card advantage, depending on, like, the format, right? Speaking of another number that got banned, both Dominus traps are good, it just depends on what you're playing. My favorite group of monsters is slowly being massacred by random decks who literally come out of nowhere. Well, if they would stop having good generic cards, they'd stop getting stolen by other archetypes, right? That's just how it goes. If you have good generics, they get snapped up. But as people were saying, we have already had our first point adjustment. So like 2 days after the format came out, we've already had a whole bunch of stuff changed. So a lot of these smaller things, like this is to stop Exodia, this is to stop Exodia, this is just Dimension Shift as an asshole. Ouroboros, I don't know how this like slipped through, but it did. Foolish Burial Goods to 3, this actually hurts. Because I am a big Fluffle player, right? Foolish Burial Goods is one of the most important Fluffle cards because you use this to send Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor then gets you a starter, right? So it's a really important like starter. But because this now costs 3, if I want to include 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods, that's now 9. The problem with that is, we go back to here. Unfortunately, one of the best cards in my archetype is generic. So we got 33 points slapped on Patchwork. So that's 99 points if I want 3 copies of Patchwork, which means I now can't play Foolish Burial Goods. Which is so sad, because like, I get why, right? Patchwork is a really good generic card, but it just sucks so much if you want to play pure Fluffle. Why is one triple the points? Hear me out, 2k point tournament. Yeah, you can absolutely reach 2k points. Absolutely. A lot of cards got hit to prevent Rongo from being summoned, like Salesman and Evil. I mean, that does make sense, right? Oh yeah, I did see a Dragon Ruler list. I didn't even know you can play Small Rose Dragon Engine in the deck with the new cards. Blame branded players for ruining it. Typical branded behavior. Branded players did nothing wrong! But yeah, a lot of these changes are like good, I guess. The issue is, because right. So here's the question, right? Are we expecting Konami to start releasing cards specifically to be played in this format, right? Are we going to see cards come out that are basically copies of cards we currently have, but a little bit more restrictive, so they can only be played with a certain deck? Or like, because there was an example I think MBT was talking about, which was, do you release some cards like, so for example for Lunar Lights, right? Lunar Lights has, I think it's Wolf and I can't remember what the other one is, but two of their cards are Pendulum cards. And because they're Pendulums, they're banned in this format. So do you just release a Lunar Light card that's just a continuous spell card that does exactly the same thing just to make Lunar Lights playable, right? It's like, are we going to go down that line of just like, are we going to get weird with it and start releasing very hyper-specific cards for this format? Because it could be interesting to do that, but at the same time, this format, I believe, is only for us. This is only for the West. I don't think Japan is getting this format. Which would mean it wouldn't come to Master Duel, and it wouldn't have any impact on printing of cards. Would it be redundant in the TCG or not? I mean, sort of, right? It depends if in TCG they change their bans, right? So, for example, you could like ban, like it would be sort of just like an errata, right? Realistically, I suppose with like changing some of the card types, it wouldn't be. It'd be a bit. It is a bit weird. It is definitely a bit weird. But like, so my general thoughts of this is, I think this format looks like it's a bit of fun. I, though, am the kind of person, I really like alternate formats, right? I like doing drafts. I like playing progression series. I like all of this sort of thing. I like just weird alternate formats. To me, that's a lot of fun. So I see this and I'm like, this is exciting, especially because I have never liked the EMZ. I don't dislike link monsters per se. I've just always disliked the EMZ. I like what a lot of link monsters do, and I understand the EMZ is necessary because of how link monsters have been designed, but I've just never liked the EMZ. I don't like messing with the board. Like, I like the, 5 monster zones, 5 spell trap zones, we're done. I didn't like the same thing when pendulum zones came into the game. When they were like on the side instead of being in the back row. I didn't like that either. Because it's very alienating to all players as well. I have a lot of friends that used to play the game back in the day, and trying to get them back into the game is a nightmare. But I could maybe convince them to give Genesys a go, right? Because Genesys it's like, oh, those links and those pendulums that you don't understand how they work and you don't want to understand how they work? They're not legal. You just come and play this. So for that point of view, I think this could be a bit of fun. Again, how overly competitive is this format going to be? I don't know. This could end up being super competitive. It could end up being a bit kind of whatever, right? Define messing with the board. I think the board should have, 5 monster zones, 5 spell trap zones, a deck, a graveyard, a field zone, and an extra deck. And that is it. I don't think we need any more zones. I think adding extra zones is weird. Would you prefer extra monster zones or judgment arrows? The hell is a judgment arrow? I don't know what a judgment arrow is. Oh! This is from... What was this from? Is this from the anime only? This isn't like an anime only thing, right? I've seen this before. It's a frame spoiler. Hello, Manicus, by the way. Welcome. I mean... Yeah, I'd rather have judgment arrows, if I'm being honest. I just don't like the EMZ. I've never liked the EMZ. I've never liked the EMZ. I've never liked pendulum zones. Again, I don't mind link monsters. I don't mind pendulum monsters. I don't like them adding more zones. I think it's silly, personally. Why you don't play Duel Links? Because today's a yapping day. Today we have all the news to go over. Clearly, you've not been to one of these streams before. Sea Shanty Lo-Fi Beats. Oh, yeah. It's always about the Sea Shanty. This is the Trap remix. But yeah, I want to try and build a deck in this. I just don't know what deck I would build. That's my current concern with this. This is just yap. We're almost at the end of the stream, Badge. We only stream until 4 o'clock my time. No sheep today. I don't really know what I'm doing with the new box. I haven't bought into it yet. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm a bit worried about my gems. So I don't know if I want to spend like 7,000 gems to get 5 cards that aren't very good. That's kind of where I'm at right now. That mean you have a lot of gems? I mean, I've got like 10,000 gems on my Rush account right now. My Speed account has probably got about 17,000, something like that. Are you running out of level ups? Yes, that is the primary issue I've got. Well, I think I have to be a bit more careful with what I'm spending gems on. So I'm probably going to now start skipping selections, because I was going all in on them before. And I'm now going to maybe skip some deck builds if they're not super impactful. Time to play Sky Strikers? No. Suffering from success. Well, the issue is, again, we farmed everything, is the issue. So now I'm kind of at the mercy of waiting for new stuff to come out. But eventually, right, they are going to give us, like, UR Dream tickets, and then I can just pick up the stuff from this box, right? That's the logic, right? No, 17,000, not 70,000. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't know what deck I want to build in this. Because again, my go-to would be Fluffle. Fluffle doesn't really work. Because like I can't even play the entire Fluffle deck. And it's not even like a super strong deck to begin with. And just by playing the 3 copies of Fright for Patchwork, I don't get any of the like generic cards. I already have level 29 in all characters. Had to make a separate account for speed. Well, I've already got a separate account for speed. I've even got a second rush account because I'm like, well, this has all the gems in the world. So if there's ever a deck that comes out that's wholly like contained within one box, I might open that on the spare rush account and go from there. The thing is, I've just got to be smarter with it. That's all I got to do. It'll be fine, right? We'll get around it. But for right now, I don't think it's worth it just to make a video on Miss Mutton and a video on the Geas Dragons. There's like, again, there's like barely any change there. What I might do, I might go through the box once. But I haven't decided yet. Because I think if I go through the box once, that'll get me everything I need to play the Geas Dragons. But it's still like a lot of gem investment, right? I'm in the same spot with no more characters to level up, but a thing I got to say is they got looser with the free gems. I'm on average getting more gems than before. I mean, that's a good thing, right? It just comes down to if a new box drops, and I've just spent all my gems in this box, I now don't have any gems for the next box, right? So I'm going to wait and basically kind of play catch up with the gems for a little bit, and we'll just see how long that goes for. Alright, well, that's kind of enough with Genesys, I think. I think we've kind of exhausted the Genesys chat for now. Again, I think it's cool. Do I think it fixes all of the problems that Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG has right now? No. Do I think the problems that TCG has right now need to be fixed to, like, accommodate me specifically? Also, no. If you were to tell me you could either play TCG or you could play Genesys, which one would you rather play? Well, for me right now, it would be Genesys. I think Genesys has more to offer for me specifically. I think it does sound more fun than TCG. But, you know, I'm a Rush guy. I'd always just rather play Rush anyway. I will not open the new box. That's fair. So the next kind of last things we're going to go over is the Rush cards that came out whilst we had our little break from streaming. So, we have the new Woolly Wonderland cards. We've already gone over the max. We don't talk about that. But we do have the new fusions. So, we have Royal Princess of the Woolly Wonderland Miss Mutton. This is a 3600 attack level 9 beast fusion. Materials Princess of the Flop Miss Mutton and 2 beast normal monsters. And it's just a 3600 vanilla. I mean, the art looks nice. I don't know if this is going to actually be pretty good. Hey, Icy, welcome. You've actually, Icy, you've just skipped all of the speed stuff. We have just literally spent all this time. We talked about like the soccer update or the football update, the eFootball collab. We've gone over all of the leaks. We've just finished talking about Genesys. And now we've gone back onto Rush, and now Icy shows up. But hello, Icy. Welcome, welcome. We'll do an exclamation mark Icy in the chat. Sword Soul is like Despia, and I don't like it. In what way do you mean that? Because one's a synchro deck, and one's a fusion deck. They both kind of play differently. Like, the only real overlap is just Albaz, I guess. Did you see the animation? Yes. We watched the stream. We watched at least a chunk of the stream. So we watched the, all of the Duel Link stuff that was on the stream. So we got to see also the animated, like, DM and Blue Eyes in the hand. Which is very cool. Like, where you get to actually see the cards, like, animating like their GIFs. So who do we have here? Woolly Wonderland Pyro Wall. Is this just another normal? They're just like a bunch of non-effect fusions. Okay. This one actually has an effect. Oh my god. Oh my god. So level 7, 2800 attack, made using Thunder Ramber and Thunder Ramber. Change this attack position card to face the defense position. Choose up to 2 spell trap cards on your opponent's field and destroy them. This is actually good. This is actually a good card. I saw you had the Rush ban list prediction. We're still waiting for the ban list. Yeah, well, the plan was, if the ban list came out yesterday, I was just going to record the ban list. And if it didn't, I was going to do the ban list prediction. So we just did the ban list prediction, right? Well, it's more of a wish list than a prediction, I think. Because that's what I would like to see. More than what I expect to see, right? I think Rush is in, like, an okay spot at the moment. I would just like to see more decks be meta-relevant. But I always feel like Konami doesn't like that. Konami likes there being, like, 3 decks that are meta-relevant and doesn't like it when there's more. So, I don't know. Aqua Sheep and Aqua Sheep. Change this attack position card to defense position, choose 1 monster in your opponent's field and place it on the bottom of the enemy's deck. Okay, that's also not bad. Are we getting like a fusion spell to make these or what? Ground and Ground. This card cannot attack and this card in defense position cannot be destroyed by battle. Face up, Prince of the Flock, Miss Mutton, and Royal Princess of the Willy Wonderland, Miss Mutton, gain 700 attack and pierce. I mean, that's interesting, I guess. Tomato wants Thunder and Noodles playable. I mean, ideally, I would like both of those things playable. I want every deck to be playable, personally. Willy Wonderland Shadow Mary? If there is a face-up beast normal on your field, send the top 3 cards of it to the graveyard. You can choose a gateway to the Willy Wonderland your graveyard and add to your hand. So mill and add is always good. Willy Wonderland Fluffy. If a Prince of the Flock Miss Button is in your graveyard, someone can be hand to the graveyard. Choose a Prince of the Flock Miss Button in your graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon it. I mean, that's fine. I'd rather you didn't have to discard, but I understand why you do. Right, so this is Gateway to Willy Wonderland. Send one face-up beast monster from your field to the graveyard, then you could fusion summon a dark beast monster for 600 defense by shuffling beast monsters from your field or graveyard into the owner's deck. I don't like having to send a beast monster to the graveyard. Why does this card have a restriction on it, but like all the other fusions from graveyards don't have to send a monster? I don't like that. If I had 9999 gems, how long will the other gems remain? So gems that are in your mailbox, I think is what we call it, those last for a month before they expire. And if you click into your mailbox and you see them in there, it will say when you got them, and then you just like add a month to that. Or it will say when they expire. I can't remember off the top of my head. It lets you normal and material to send for the fusion. Helps us don't mill a lot. Does this work that way, though? Like, do you not need a legal fusion target first before you can even activate this card? So you'd have to have at least 2 cards in the graveyard that do fuse, then activate this, send a beast to the graveyard. Oh no, it said then you can. It's not then. It said then you can. Okay, so that is fine then. I still don't like it, because it's still a -1, but I get that, because like, now there's no, it would be nice if it had like, you can send a beast monster, and then you can, right, you know? So you don't have to, but it was an option, but it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, Miss Mutton's Flocking Fan Mail. Send 1 beast normal monster from the hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Okay, that's good. Also, if you sent Prince of the Flock Miss Mutton to the graveyard with this effect, you can add, you could choose a level 4 Beast Warrior and special summon it. This is good. This is a good card. This is just straight up good. There's like no negative to this card. This is just all around good. Willy Wonderland Nap Time. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster, send the top 3 cards of it to the graveyard. Then you could choose face-up monsters in your opponent's field up to the number of beast maximum monsters and beast normal monsters sent to the graveyard. Change them to face down defense. So this is a little bit gamba, but this is really good. On normal or special, we're milling, which is good. And assuming we hit at least 1, this gets value, right? We just have to hit a max or a normal. The only problem I'm going to see with this deck is we're playing so much brick. Like, there's just so much brick in this deck. Are rule traps now small shady? I mean, basically, right? They have to be at least as powerful as shady, otherwise, what's the point, right? You just play shady. But this is a really good trap. This is just straight up just a really good trap. And then I do want to go over these cards as well, because I was not streaming when these cards came out. These are the new Blackluster Soldier cards. And Blackluster Soldier, I'm just saying, this art looks so nice, man. Look at how pretty this card is. Look at that. Tell me that isn't a beautiful Yu-Gi-Oh card. Imagine how that looks with the actual foiling, right? And you actually like tilt the card side to side. That's going to look so good. Too many chances to mill the spells. I mean, yeah. It depends how many we're playing, right? I love this so much. So we have Dedicated Guy the Fierce Knight. This card's name is treated as Guy the Fierce Knight while in the hand or graveyard. During the main phase, this card was normal special summoned. Choose a Blackluster ritual in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Then you can increase the level of this card by 1 until the end of this turn. I don't like this card that much. So the issue I have with this card is it can't get summoned any easier. If this card could get tributed out with like 1 tribute, I'd be like, okay, maybe. Because this requires 2 tributes, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I still think this card's going to see play. I still think I will probably play this card in this deck, but I would... Part of me is just like, it's just not as good as it could be, and that just kind of bothers me. And I think that's because a lot of the other support cards we're getting aren't very good. So here we have Chaos Sword Rider. So reveal 1 level 4 monster with 500 attack and 1000 defense, which is going to be very common in this archetype. In your hand to the opponent, send the top card of the deck to the graveyard. This card gains 1000 attack to the end of your opponent's next turn. Choose a face-up level 8 warrior monster on your field and have it gain 1000 attack. So we can make this a 1500 attack monster and then give our ritual monster 1000 attack up to 4k. That's fine. That's not great. Then we have Chaos Material. Reveal 1 level 4 monster with 500 attack, 1000 defense in the hand to the opponent. Send the top 2 cards to the graveyard. Okay, milling 2 is good. This card gains 1000 attack, so it becomes a 1500 attacker. Neat. Until the end of the opponent's next turn. Then you can increase this card's level by 4. So this is sort of okay. The problem I have with this is you could just play Lenoir, and that's just better than this, which is the Plasmatic Model card that increases its level by 4, because you don't have to have a card to reveal, and you get a draw. So part of me is like, why would I even bother playing this, unless like I just wanted to like play Lenoir and this, which was fine, I guess. Rush cards look so much better than regular cards. It's a pity they aren't released in English yet. It is such a shame. It's such a shame. Shaman of Chaos. Shuffle 2 level 4 monsters with 500 attack and 1000 defense. We give it to the deck. This card gains 1000 attack. Then you can choose 1 face down card, the opponent's spell and trap card zone, and destroy it. I mean, that's okay. That effect's fine. Then we have Quick Attack Knight. Either send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard or reveal 1 level 4 monster with 500 attack or 1000 defense in your hand to your opponent. Send the top card of the deck to the graveyard. Then you can choose a Blackluster Ritual or Super Soldier Strike in your graveyard and add to the hand. Again, this is just good. We want ways to recycle the Ritual spell, especially since we're going to be milling a lot. So we're probably going to be milling it into the graveyard. We want a way to get it back. Then we have Blackluster Ritual. This is, again, it's fine. It's one of the ones where we can use hand or field, which is really good. Then we have Super Soldier Strike. If there's a face-up Blackluster Soldier on your field, choose 1 face-down card your opponent's field and shuffle it into the opponent's deck. This is a good card. The problem is we can only use this with a Blackluster Soldier. That's not ideal. And we don't yet have another Blackluster Ritual monster, which means this is the only way we currently have to beat set 3. Which is not great, realistically. Right now, I'm not feeling the Blackluster Ritual deck is going to be very good, but we'll have to see how it goes. Chaos Ceremonial Object. Excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal them. You could choose a Blackluster Ritual from among them, or in your graveyard and add it to the hand. If it didn't have this line here, or in your graveyard, this card is ass. Because you can add it from your graveyard, this is probably going to see a lot of play. And then we have Dark Piercing Sword. If there is a monster on your opponent's field, choose 1 level 4 light or dark monster, 500 attack, 1000 to your graveyard, add to your hand. Then you can choose 1 monster on your opponent's field and change the face of the decision. This is like fine. Just be able to recycle your 500 1000s. The best one to get back is probably going to be Quick Attack, because we activate that spell, immediately get back Quick Attack effect, we then grab back Blackluster Ritual, right? That's probably going to be the line. That just gets you like a +2. Like, that's pretty good. It's my favorite tomato that I've missed. Hello, Darth Victor. I tried Sheep. It just feels so weird. My feeling is that Sheep is going to feel kind of bricky. That is kind of... Like, I feel like you're going to have so many, like, max pieces if you're playing the max. You're going to have so many normal monsters that it's just going to feel really weird. But yeah, that is it for that. So, I guess just to quickly recap, we don't really need to look at Mirror Jade anymore. We're getting a bunch of skills. The good skills, I think Yugi skill 1 could be okay if you're playing a dark deck. Kaiba skill 1 could be good if you're playing a light deck. Both of these are bad. I don't think the Sangan skill is going to do anything. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. The ritual one, maybe there's something there. Like, maybe. I don't know what ritual decks don't have a skill right now that could make use of this, but, like, maybe. The Noah skill 1, this is the silly, like, OTK skill. So, like, meh. Odeon skill, this card has a lot of potential. This has a lot of potential. There's a lot of, like, Link plays, Xyz plays. If we do get, like, Eldritch, obviously this would be the skill you play with that. There's potentially some Paleo stuff. It depends how Trap Monsters works, but, like... Kyber's bad. Yugi 2's a stall skill. Ice Jade, I don't think this is going to be very good because we don't have any of the important cards we need to make it work. Sword Soul's probably going to be good. These skills are, like, funny. I don't know if they're going to do anything. This Noah skill, I think there is a chance that this becomes a okay Shinobird skill. So we'll see what happens with that. This Rebecca skill, again, I think we can cook with this and make like a Dragoonity, maybe Dragon Maid deck with it. This is bad. This is bad. These are bad. This was bad. Injection Fairy Lily. And then Soccer. And then... Was there anything else after this? No, it was just the leaks. That was kind of it. There we go. What cards are Ice Jade missing? So, I mean, if we go back over here quick, we'll quickly go over it. So Ice Jade are getting Kingfisher. They're getting all of the little guys. And they're getting Cradle and Erosion. So we're not getting Curse. We're not getting Manifestation. We're not getting Grimir Agreen. We're not getting Cosmoclaw. We're not getting Creation Aerogesis. And we're not getting Ran Argerine. So we're missing like all of their good cards basically. It's almost the same reason that Cosmo kind of have is wanting Princess Cosmo. Sheep really need to find a copy of normal Sheep anywhere. Yeah, I mean, if you do though, right? You could say all character skills that were leaked are bad, and I believe you. I think some of them, again, it's like, what do we define as bad? Are we defining bad as in like, you can't cog with it? Or this will never top 16 a tournament? Or are we defining bad as like, you know, this is just never going to win a tournament ever, right? It's like... But yeah, we're missing a lot of them. Like, if we had, for example, Cosmoclaw, I think the deck would just be good with just this. Because it's a big floodgate. And big floodgate good, right? Yeah, Ran Argerine, Grimir Argerine, and then Cosmoclaw, I'd say, like, the good ones. This one is also, like, pretty good. Because right now, the deck is basically, you activate, the skill turns on, you get Cradle. You send... is it Tanola? No, it's Adrian, right? Yeah, you send Adrian to the graveyard with the skill. You flip over Cradle, add back Adrian. Adrian effect, we grab Cradle. Activate Cradle, grab, like, Kingfisher. Then we equip Kingfisher onto Adrian. And then we use Kingfisher's effect to bounce and then special summon itself. And that's, like, the whole combo. And, like, I don't know where we go beyond that. But that's kind of it. And it just doesn't seem good enough. Pure Ice Jade as it is as bad as I'd say it's bad. Well, yeah. Well, like, again, if we had some of these other cards, it would be fine. I don't know if it'd be, like, good. Like, pure... Like, this deck as is, I'm not sure if pure it does anything, realistically. The one where you discard and return an Earth or Fairy, draw 2 is useful in my Block Dragon deck. I guess it's if you're playing just like Earth Rock Block Dragon and not like Adamancipator Block Dragon, because Adamancipator Rock Dragon is a different story, right? Because that has all the different attributes. The skill lets you play other waters, I think, but I don't know what you would play with it. That's the thing as well, right? You're forced to play 9 Ice Jades, right? So that's already a lot of it gone. So then it becomes, what other water archetype could you pair with it that you don't need, like, the 9 Ice Jade slots that are automatically taken up? You're also going to have Cradle. I assume you're playing 3 copies of this. That's 12 cards gone. Then it's like, are you playing Erosion? Probably not, but I mean, this card is coming out, so you could play it. So if you've already got 12 slots gone, you now need a competent water archetype that you can get away with only playing 18 cards. Which, you know, maybe Sharks? I don't know. But then I think they've got other skills that are just better anyway. If it was 9 Ice Jade cards, not monsters, would have been better. Yeah, because then you can just like play like a nice little package, right? You could literally just play 1, 2, 3 and be just done with it, which will be fine. But that's kind of everything. We also did take a look at Genesys. We spoke about this a bit. Again, I still don't know what I would play in this format, to be honest. I really do not know what matters here. Because again, I want to play Fluffle. I can't play Fluffle. Fluffle's already not a good deck, so I can't play my not good pet deck, and that already bothers me. A Sarctic? I mean, a Sarctic. I don't know how good Exartic's going to be in this deck, but you do have a search for any water monster. Not bad, depending on what you think. Dinos is a good shout, actually. How many... Are any of the dinosaurs limited? So if we look at... So Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is not limited. So that means none of the dinosaurs are going to be limited, right? Are there any good dinosaur cards that could be limited that I should search for? Like Oviraptor isn't going to be limited. Why would it be? Like Baby isn't going to be limited. Misk is a good one. Yeah, there we go. 75! No! They knew. I wouldn't even be mad if this was 50, but because it's 75, it's like you can play one Misk and that's it. And dinosaurs with one Misk, you have to search this then with Ovi or Fossil Dig. How much is Fossil Dig? Surely Fossil Dig doesn't cost anything. It's a 40! It's 4. You can't even play Fossil Dig and Misk in the same deck. They indeed read the effect of Misk. Misk is fine. There's nothing wrong with Misk. You can't even play 3 Fossil Dig in the same deck, man. That's so sad. I mean, I kind of get it. This is what I mean. I want to play Dinosaurs or Fluffle. Again, both of which are in no way, shape, or form anywhere near meta relevant, and I'm not allowed to play either. That's what makes me sad. Are all generics? I think Rotor is... Yeah, Rotor's 40. Bonfire's 33? Hello? Why is Bonfire 33? I looked at Fossil Dig because my second favorite deck is Dinomorphia. And I see it's fucking 40. Yeah, Dinomorphia is a cool deck. I do really like Dinomorphia. To be fair, Dino Triceratops is a toxic card. I assume you... Wait, what do you mean Dino Triceratops? Do you mean Miscellaneousaurus? I don't think it's a toxic card. Right. The thing with Misk, right? Misk has so many ways to play around it that I don't even think it's that big of a deal, right? Misk only protects dinos, so if you go into any extra deck, you're going to turn it off, right? It doesn't protect your extra deck monsters. If you have anything you can activate in the battle phase, you could just do it in the battle phase, and again, they're just going to be able to, like, deal with it anyway. I don't know, I don't think it's, like, that big of a deal. Hey, Prostrate, welcome. I'm slightly peeved a few of the hits, like Bonfire, because TG doesn't got as many consistency tools. Yeah. Bonfire 33 because Ryzeal and Snakes. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Because of Ryzeal and Snakes, Bonfire should be more than the other searches, not less, right? Point Buy is a fantastic system for lowering the power level of the game. However, getting the numbers right is probably going to be about a decade, and with Konami behind the wheel, it's probably never be good. I mean... Probably? What does Snake do without links? Synchros? Nah, just let them do whatever. As long as it doesn't affect me specifically in the decks that I want to play. See, this is what I mean. I want to... what's the high points for Fluffles? So we have 2 cards. We have... Frightful Patchwork is 33. And obviously this is very important because this gets us Poly, which is very important for Fluffles, and any of our fusion material, which is obviously really important. And then the other one is Foolish Burial Goods is now at 3. So Foolish Burial Goods is one of the best starters we have because we can get Foolish Burial Goods into Toy Box. Toy Box gets us either dog or penguin or dolphin, whatever we need at that time. So with this not in there, it makes it so much harder. Is Eldritch in here actually? Eldritch isn't in here, which is so weird to me. Because Eldritch is also an extender you play on Fluffles. Lock Dragon 33 is annoying. Did they put Pot of Greed up? I don't think they put it up. If anything, I think they would have dropped it. No. A bunch of cards went down, like Heavy Storm's now only 20. Harpy's Feather Dust is now only 30. Prem's now only 25. Eldritch is all 0 points. I mean, yeah, again, it's just the card itself, Eldritch, is just such a good card in general, right? It's not necessarily about, like, the Eldritch deck OP. It's about Eldritch just is a generic card that you can play in a lot of different decks. It doesn't sound that unplayable. 2 Patchwork and 3 Goods. I mean, yeah. But, like, even in that scenario, that's what, 66 plus 9? So you're already at 75. You only have 25 points left. Which means you're playing, like, a non-meta deck. And you've got 25 points left to play, like, your strong staples. Like, what are you getting with those 25 points? You get, like, an Ash. You could get, like Ghost Ogre, right? Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot. You don't get to abuse the fact you're playing a bad deck by playing all of the overpowered stupid cards, right? Like, I don't get to play Pot of Greed. I don't get to play Graceful Charity. You don't get to play all of these other cards, right? 3 draw. Yeah, just 3 draw. Hopefully Exodia pieces are 0. They are 0. The issue is that Exodia was a disgusting FTK. So a lot of the changes we got in the update were to stop Exodia decks. Because it was just like an almost 100% consistency FTK deck. I've not looked at this list of cards. Can you type in Subterra and Terraforming? So Terraforming is hit. I can tell you that right now. It's a pretty big hit. So Terraforming is 50. Or is it 33? No, it's 33. 33 for Terraforming. Guru is 5. So 5 is not too bad. Usually if a card is a low thing like 5, it's because they don't want you playing it with something else specific. So in this case, because you're expected to play 3 Guru, it's 15. So there's probably something else that they don't want you playing it with that in total works out at about 85. Or like just higher than 85. Look guys, it's all of our Sword Soul cards. Even Hyper Librarians are at 33. Mine and Dragoon. I mean, I haven't really played much Subterra in TCG. I don't really know what the list looks like. I just know it's like... It's a little bit degen. That's all I really know about it. So I don't know like what the deck looks like. Hidden City... Is Hidden City 33? That's very funny. So you could only play 2 Hidden City at 66, then 15 on Guru. Well, Librarian I can understand outside of TG. It enables a lot of deep combos, yeah. 100%, 100%. This is what I mean. I just don't know what deck I'd want to play. Because a lot of the decks I would play are kind of hurt in a big way. And again, it's like Icy said, right? I could just drop 1 Fright for Patchwork. But then I just feel like I'm playing a heavily nerfed version of a bad deck. And I'm just like, I just feel like that's just begging to lose. I want to play something that's at least going to be semi-competitive, right? I don't need something that's going to be like a top-tier deck. But I want to play a deck where I feel like I have a chance of winning. Because the other issue is, the biggest problem that Fluffle has always had is they don't have a good end board for turn 1, right? So our end board has always been incorporating a lot of generic stuff, right? So we play Totally Awesome, we play Appaloosa, we can play, like, we can Cyclock, we can VFD. There's a lot of, like, generically overpowered shit we could do, but we can't do any of that in this format. So once again, Fluffle just ends up being a bit mid. This entire format's dog shit, got it. Well, again, it's just, you have to really find a deck that fits within the constraints, right? Pro kept playing an illegal list against me in Genesys. Oh my god, how could he? Can't you search patch with chain? I know some ways to get chain engrave. Yeah, but you can, but you also get chain with patch, right? So the whole point is they have like this like synergy where they search each other, but now you're just taking one copy out of your decks, and now you're just less likely to find it, right? Because we don't have a skill to just grab chain for free. Shut up, Chuki, before I peg you. I will allow this. Anti-spell fragrance 100. Did they forget pendulums are gone? I think it's just all floodgates, right? If anything, it's a bit weird that like these are not at 100, right? Almost every floodgate is at 100. But yeah, like I said, I just want to find a deck that I want to play in this format. It's like, I think Grand was saying he was looking forward to playing Raid Raptors. And I'm like, that's cool, you found a deck that works, right? I want to find a deck that looks cool. That I want to play, that doesn't seem... So I think either you need to choose a deck that is already good and just accept you're not playing any staples and you're going to have like some of the cards ripped out of it. Or you play a really bad deck that is just bad enough that like every card is a 0 cost. And then you can just play all of the overpowered shit in with it. But it needs to be not too bad that it's just dog shit and can't do anything, right? What do you like in your decks? I mean, so again, the decks that I typically... Like, the modern decks that I have had fondness playing was Branded. And again, this was the non-Floodgate version of Branded. The original version of Branded. I really liked... Dinosaurs, Dinomorphia, Fluffle was like my main deck for the longest time. Those are like the main decks that I've played. I did play a bit of Adamancipator. That's kind of it for modern. Because you got to remember, I used to play a lot... Like in Xyz format, I played like Madolche. Like that was a really fun deck, but I don't know how good Madolche is going to be in this format. I feel like Madolche is probably a little bit too old. I played a bit of Super Heavy Samurai. But again, we don't have the links to make that work. You can't say that here, pro. Spells or traps, as long as Exodia is playable. It is playable. I'm looking at Punk. I love Synchro decks. Dinomorphia is pretty good in this format, I think. I mean, maybe I look at Dinomorphia then. It's just, obviously, we've already seen that Fossil Digger's hit. 2 of the Dinomorphia cards are already hit. Check Madolche, maybe it's good. The issue is, I would have to look up what a modern-day Madolche list looks like, right? I don't think any Madolche cards specifically are going to be hit. Yeah, we can see that just with that. I could play Dragon Maids. Tidying's 10, Shio is 20. Because, I mean, you can get away with just playing one Shio. It's like, maybe Maids is where we go. We've got Ladies Dragon Maid at 20. My Witchcrafter are too bad in needing Magistus and White Forest to compete, and Magistus already hit with no Spoon or Links. Yeah. Isn't a new support good for Madolche? Madolche has a ton of Mon support, but loses its Link 2 and 3, yeah. That's the issue, right? Because we have one of those links in Duel Links, I think. Going second sucks, and I don't know what traps to play. Just play all of the traps. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll experiment with this. I do need to, like, I do want to play this a little bit. Maybe we can try and get some games going at some point. But we have gone well over the stream's usual end time because we were just kind of yapping and having fun with this. But I do have other bits and bobs I do have to get on with, so I am going to have to close the stream here. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. We did go through all of the news. It did take a very long time. That was 3 hours and 20 minutes of just going over the eFootball stuff, the new Chronicles episode, the new Genesys format, the new Rush box, the new Rush leaks, the new skill leaks for speed. We went over just so much stuff today. And it was a lot of fun. It's been nice to actually stream because we haven't streamed in a little while. So I do thank you guys all for hanging out. We will be back on Sunday. I should be streaming on Sunday unless something comes up. So fingers crossed I'll be here on Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be doing. I do want to have Sunday be a non-Yu-Gi-Oh day. Because I would like to just have one day of streaming a non-Yu-Gi-Oh thing. But I think I might wait until the new Digimon game comes out before I do that. Because I do want to play that new Digimon game, and I'm thinking about playing that on stream, because I think that would be fun. I did enjoy playing it when I was ill, and we were just playing that on stream, just having fun. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!